The health of your kidneys is directly linked to the choices you make at your kitchen table every single day. If your recent lab work showed high creatinine levels,
it means your kidneys are struggling to filter waste efficiently. While protein intake is often the first suspect, many people overlook seemingly innocent vegetables that can dramatically increase the burden on already compromised kidneys. I am your health strategist, and today we are executing a critical nutritional deep dive. We are discussing the mechanics of kidney stress and identifying 3 specific vegetables that you must strictly limit or eliminate entirely, depending on the severity of your creatinine elevation. Please understand this crucial context. Creatinine is the direct byproduct of normal muscle breakdown. Healthy kidneys clear it out easily. When that level rises in your blood, it is the primary signal that the filtering units, called nephrons, are overworked or damaged. Our goal today is to reduce the volume and toxicity of the substances those damaged nephrons have to handle. Let us start with the first vegetable, a nutritional powerhouse that becomes a danger when kidney function is reduced. Vegetable number 1, raw spinach. Spinach is celebrated for its vitamins and minerals, yet for those managing kidney issues, it poses a profound double threat, primarily due to high oxalate content. Oxalates are natural compounds found in many plants. When you digest them, they bind with calcium in your body. In a healthy system, the kidneys flush these compounds out. However, if your kidneys are struggling, or if you consume too many oxalates, they form tiny, sharp crystals. These calcium oxalate crystals are the most common cause of kidney stones. Even if you have never had a kidney stone, the presence of excessive oxalates forces the kidneys to work overtime just to manage the crystal formation and removal. This constant workload adds tremendous frictional stress to the delicate nephrons, which are already struggling to clear basic creatinine. The second issue with raw spinach is its high potassium content. We will discuss potassium in detail shortly, but realize that 1/2 cup of cooked spinach can contain over 400 milligrams of potassium, though raw is slightly less. While cooking and boiling spinach can reduce the oxalate and potassium load by up to 50%, eating large raw quantities in salads or smoothies is particularly dangerous for anyone trying to lower their creatinine burden. If you are currently taking blood thinners, or if you have a history of calcium oxalate stones, minimizing raw spinach is an absolute mandatory step in protecting your kidney health. Vegetable number 2, potatoes and sweet potatoes. This might sound shocking because potatoes are often considered a comforting staple, but their threat comes down almost entirely to one element, potassium. Potassium is an essential electrolyte required for nerve signaling and muscle contraction, including the contraction of your heart. When your kidneys are functioning optimally, they act like a sophisticated thermostat, carefully balancing potassium levels in your blood. If you eat too much, they flush the excess. However, when creatinine levels are high, it signifies the thermostat is broken. The kidneys can no longer efficiently remove the potassium. This leads to a dangerous condition called hyperkalemia, or excessively high blood potassium. This is not just about avoiding stones. This is a direct risk to your heart rhythm. Extremely high potassium can cause irregular heartbeats, palpitations, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest. Both white potatoes and sweet potatoes are incredibly high in potassium, often exceeding 900 milligrams in a large baked potato, especially when the skin is included. Since baked potatoes retain all their minerals, they are the most hazardous preparation method for a kidney diet. So, how do we handle this common vegetable? If you absolutely must have a potato, you must learn the kidney-safe technique of leaching. This process involves peeling the potato, cutting it into very thin slices, and soaking it in water for several hours, changing the water frequently. You then rinse them and boil them in large amounts of fresh water before cooking further. This painstaking process is designed to pull out some of the excess potassium before consumption. But as a general rule, if your creatinine is elevated, The simplest and safest strategy is to replace potatoes entirely with lower potassium alternatives like cauliflower rice or white rice, though portion control remains key. Do not assume sweet potatoes are better. They are often equally, if not more, potassium dense. Vegetable number 3, tomatoes. The third vegetable we need to address is the versatile, flavorful tomato, especially in its concentrated forms. Like potatoes, the primary villain here is potassium, but tomatoes bring a secondary complication related to fluid and acid management. A single medium-sized raw tomato contains a manageable amount of potassium, around 250 milligrams. However, tomatoes are rarely eaten raw and singly. They are usually consumed in sauces, pastes, purees, and juices. When tomatoes are processed, their water content evaporates, concentrating the nutrients and, unfortunately, concentrating the potassium and the acids. Consider canned tomato paste. Just 1/2 cup of concentrated tomato paste can contain well over 750 milligrams of potassium. This high load delivered in a small serving is overwhelming for compromised nephrons. Furthermore, tomatoes have a measurable acid load. While the body typically buffers this easily, kidneys that are failing have a reduced capacity to neutralize acid waste products. High acid load can lead to metabolic acidosis, further stressing the entire system and accelerating kidney damage. Finally, we must consider the sodium factor. Many canned tomato products, including pasta sauces and vegetable juices, are loaded with hidden sodium, which directly contributes to hypertension. High blood pressure is the second leading cause of kidney failure, right after type 2 diabetes. When high potassium from the tomato itself is combined with the sodium from the processing, you create a perfect storm of fluid retention, blood pressure spikes, and hyperkalemia risk. If you must use tomatoes, prioritize fresh tomatoes in extremely small portions and avoid all concentrated sauces, juices, and pastes entirely. Protecting your filtering capacity. To summarize our critical guidelines for managing high creatinine and reducing kidney stress, we focused on 3 specific areas of dietary concern inherent in these vegetables: oxalates, high potassium, and acid sodium concentration. 1. Strictly limit or leach potatoes and sweet potatoes to avoid dangerous hyperkalemia that risks your heart rhythm. 2. Eliminate raw spinach to prevent the formation of calcium oxalate crystals that physically damage your kidney filters. 3. Avoid all concentrated tomato products, such as pastes and sauces, to manage potassium load, fluid retention, and acidic stress. We must remember that high creatinine is not just a number on a lab sheet. It is a clear warning that the filtration system of your body is failing. Managing your diet is your most powerful lever to slow down this progression. Before making any significant dietary changes, especially regarding potassium management, you must consult your personal nephrologist or registered dietitian. They are equipped to correlate your specific creatinine levels, your stage of kidney disease, and your recent potassium lab results to create a precise, safe nutrition plan. Do not undertake these adjustments without professional oversight. Protect your kidneys, manage your creatinine, and secure a healthier future. While we have focused heavily on potassium and oxalates, there is another chemical element that silently wreaks havoc on your filtration system when creatinine is high. That element is phosphorus. In a healthy body, phosphorus is vital for bone strength and energy production. But when your kidneys can no longer clear excess phosphorus, it becomes a literal poison to your cardiovascular system. High levels of phosphorus in the blood act like a magnet, pulling calcium out of your bones and depositing it directly into your arteries and heart valves. This process, known as calcification, makes your blood vessels stiff and brittle. For your kidneys, which are essentially a massive network of microscopic blood vessels, this is catastrophic. It further chokes off blood flow to the nephrons, creating a vicious cycle where kidney damage leads to higher phosphorus, which leads to more kidney damage. Beyond the vegetables we discussed, You must look out for hidden phosphorus in your diet. This is most commonly found in dark-colored sodas, processed deli meats, and many frozen convenience foods. These contain inorganic phosphorus additives that are absorbed nearly 100% by your digestive tract, unlike the organic phosphorus found in plant foods. If you are serious about lowering your creatinine and protecting your longevity, eliminating dark colas and highly processed quick meals is a non-negotiable step. Section 5. Strategic Swaps and Kitchen Solutions. Now that we have identified the dangers, let us focus on the tactical replacements. You do not have to starve yourself. You simply have to swap out the high-load vegetables for kidney-protective alternatives that still provide flavor and satiety. Your first and most powerful replacement is cauliflower. As we discussed, cauliflower is low in potassium, low in phosphorus, and contains compounds that assist your liver in pre-processing toxins. You can use cauliflower to mimic almost any high-potassium starch. Grate it to create cauliflower rice. Boil and mash it with roasted garlic and a touch of olive oil to replace mashed potatoes. It provides the same comforting texture without the cardiac risk of hyperkalemia. Your second secret weapon is the red bell pepper. While many people gravitate toward leafy greens for health, those greens are often a potassium trap. Red bell peppers offer massive amounts of vitamin C and vitamin A with a very low potassium footprint. They add the necessary crunch and sweetness to your meals without the oxalate risk found in spinach. Finally, lean heavily into garlic and onions. When you remove salt and high-sodium tomato sauces from your diet, your food might initially taste bland. Garlic and onions are your flavor saviors. They provide deep, savory notes and natural anti-inflammatory benefits without adding any mineral burden to your kidneys. Use them fresh, use them roasted, or use them in powder form to reclaim the joy of eating while protecting your filters. Section 6. The glomerular filtration rate and the creatinine connection. To truly take control of your health, you must understand the math behind your lab results. Your creatinine level is a raw number, but your doctor uses that number to calculate your GFR, or glomerular filtration rate. Think of GFR as the percentage of power your kidneys have left. If your GFR is 90 or above, your kidneys are at full strength. If it drops below 60 for more than 3 months, you are officially in the territory of chronic kidney disease. When you see your creatinine go up, your GFR goes down. It is an inverse relationship. By following the dietary strategies we have outlined, reducing your toxic load, and managing your mineral intake, your goal is to stabilize the GFR number. You must realize that every time you eat a high oxalate meal or a high potassium meal while your kidneys are struggling, you are essentially asking a marathon runner who is out of breath to sprint uphill. It is unsustainable. Stabilization is the first win. If you can stop the GFR from falling further, you have bought yourself years of quality life. Section 7. Avoiding the silent killers in your medicine cabinet. As your health strategist, I would be failing you if I did not mention a non-dietary factor that destroys kidneys faster than almost any vegetable. I am talking about common, over-the-counter pain medications known as NSAIDs. This includes drugs like ibuprofen and naproxen. Millions of seniors take these daily for arthritis or general aches. However, these medications work by constricting blood flow to reduce inflammation. Unfortunately, they also constrict the blood flow to your kidneys. If your creatinine is already high, taking these drugs can be the final blow that leads to acute kidney failure. If you are managing kidney health, you must discuss alternative pain management with your doctor and avoid these specific anti-inflammatories at all costs. Final conclusion and your path forward. The bottom line is that your kidneys are resilient, but they are not invincible. High creatinine is your body's way of pleading for a change in strategy. By eliminating raw spinach, strictly limiting potatoes and concentrated tomatoes, and avoiding processed phosphorus, you are taking the pressure off your internal filtration plant. This journey is about control. It is about choosing cauliflower over potatoes, garlic over salt, and water over soda. These small, daily decisions determine whether you remain independent and healthy, or whether you head toward the life-altering reality of dialysis. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. You are an individual with a unique medical history. Before you make these changes, take your lab results and this knowledge to your nephrologist. Show them you are serious about your renal diet and ask for a plan tailored to your specific GFR and potassium levels. Protect your kidneys. Manage your creatinine. And keep your body's silent heroes running clean for years to come. Thank you for tuning into Mealmind TV. Be sure to subscribe as we continue to decode the science of longevity and senior health.